Hugo was born into wealth in Anambra State, the only child of her parents. Her father was a powerful businessman, widely respected and extremely wealthy. But life dealt her a painful blow early on. Her mother died when Hugo was still very young. From that moment, her father became her whole world. He raised her with love, protection, and care. He was her strength, her friend, and her greatest source of comfort. Hugo grew into a young, beautiful woman, gentle in heart and soft-spoken, surrounded by luxury but deeply grounded by her father's love. When it was time to marry, Hugo met a handsome man who seemed charming and responsible. Believing she had found love, she married him. But soon after the wedding, the truth revealed itself. Her husband was cold, emotionally distant and harsh. He never treated her with kindness. He never showed affection. He had married her not for love, but for her father's wealth. Still, Hugo loved him deeply, hoping one day he would change. Whenever the house felt too heavy, she ran to her father. He listened, comforted her, and reminded her of her worth. He was the only one who truly saw her pain. Then tragedy struck again. Her father fell sick and died. Hugo was completely shattered. She cried for days, then weeks. The world lost its meaning. The one person who truly loved her was gone. Her husband offered no comfort, no support, no warmth. Instead, he became more distant, more selfish, secretly planning to gather as much of her father's wealth as possible and run away with another woman. Alone with her grief, Hugo turned to food. She ate to silence the pain. She ate to numb the loneliness. She ate from morning till night, junk food, anything she could find, sitting on the floor, crying between bites. She stopped going out. She locked herself indoors. Slowly, her body began to change. She gained weight, then more weight, until she became very obese. Each meal became her enemy. Her husband despised her for it. Every time he came home, he insulted her, calling her disgusting, fat, irritating. He reminded her daily that he hated her. When she cried, he mocked her. When she needed encouragement, he gave cruelty. Before her father died, he had officially handed over a small company in Anambra to Hugo. Out of trust and love, Hugo handed it to her husband to manage. One day, the husband came home and met Hugo in the parlor, eating. Furious, he shouted at her, insulted her, then walked into the bedroom, packed his bags, and left, taking the Anambra company with him. Hugo begged. She cried. She held on to him. But he walked away. When her husband left her, other men kept coming to ask her out. But she knew they were only after her wealth. She didn't give them attention. She just looked at them, laughed, and drove off. Broken beyond words, Hugo made a decision. She would disappear. She packed a few clothes and left Anambra quietly, traveling to Lagos State, settling in a small rural town where nobody knew her face or her name. She rented a tiny, local apartment, simple, quiet, and far from her past. This time, she wanted something real. So she disguised her life. She opened a small roadside shop, selling Indomie and bread. Not because she needed money, but because she wanted to live simply and find true love. Someone who would love her for who she was, not what she owned. Days passed. People came to buy. No man showed interest in her. Until one day, a man named Emeka stopped by. Emeka was a site engineer, hardworking, humble, and kind. He wasn't rich, but he was stable and honest. After a long day at work, he saw the new Indomie spot and decided to stop. He greeted Hugo politely. She smiled back. They talked. From that day on, Emeka returned every evening. Sometimes just to buy food, sometimes just to talk. Their friendship grew naturally. Soon, Emeka began helping her cook and sell to customers after work. He supported her without asking for anything. When they became closer, Hugo opened up, telling him about her failed marriage and heartbreak. Emeka listened without judgment. He encouraged her gently, advising her to eat healthier foods and vegetables, not to shame her, but because he cared. Sometimes he invited her to his house and cooked for her. Sometimes he took her out to eat. They laughed. They healed together. Slowly, Emeka fell in love with her. Not her size. Not her status. Just her. One evening at a small restaurant, Emeka proposed. Hugo cried uncontrollably, tears of healing, relief, and gratitude. She said yes. They got married quietly and moved into Emeka's small apartment. Life was simple, but peaceful. Emeka jogged with her, exercised with her, encouraged her daily. With love and consistency, Hugo began losing weight, gradually, steadily. She lost a lot of weight and became healthier. More importantly, she found herself again. One day, she felt unwell. At the hospital, the doctor confirmed she was pregnant. Overwhelmed with joy, Hugo knew it was time. She told Emeka everything. Her past, her father, her wealth, and how her ex-husband left with the Anambra company. What her ex-husband didn't know was this. Her father had left behind a secret will. All the major properties, luxury homes in Lagos, estates in Abuja, and vast investments, were willed only to Hugo. She knew. She just never told her husband. Emeka was shocked, but grateful. Together, they moved back to her luxurious homes in Lagos. Emeka became the husband of one of the wealthiest women in Nigeria, not because he chased money, but because he chose love. They welcomed their child and lived happily, rooted in love, humility, and truth. And Hugo finally learned this. True love doesn't find you in luxury. It finds you in sincerity.